days. So, yeah.
Okay.
I think if we have anybody that's attending via phone, that's a little more important drill down because of the *9 and to raise your hand and all of that.
Okay.
I don't see anyone by phone yet, Mary Beth. So
Yeah, I don't either.
Okay. So then I just call the meeting to order.
Oh, good. Ashley's here. Yes.
You want me to call the meeting to order?
Yes, ma'am. You may proceed.
Okay. I'm going to call the meeting to order, and then we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. So this is my favorite part, standing up in my house here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Then we're going to have a roll call. Carol.
Okay. Chairperson Jennifer Knisely.
Here.
Vice Chair Bonnie London.
Here.
Nicole Reading. Patrick Ponikvar.
Yay, we got it right this time. Thank you, Carol.
I'm getting there. Ashley Summers.
Here.
Mark Geyer.
I'm here.
Ryan DiMartini. Okay. And auxiliary member Jan Clark-Kretz.
Here.
And auxiliary member Maria Victoria Ulrich. Okay.
Right.
I did have, just for the committees, I had an email from Maria earlier today, and she had a family emergency, but expressed that she would catch up on the live stream YouTube portion for her committee assignments.
Okay. So now it is committee comment for items not on the agenda. Does anybody from the committee have anything to comment that's not on the agenda? I did want to just point out that there is that transportation meeting coming up on Thursday. Just to remind everybody, it has to do with Loomis, and Councilwoman Jan Clark-Kretz is one of the hosts. So just reminding you that is on Thursday. If you need any information, Mary Beth can tell you. So now I'll open it up for public comment for items not on the agenda.
We have no members of the public in attendance.
We're that exciting. Okay. So now I need a motion to adopt the agenda.
Move to adopt.
And
That was Mark.
Mark Geyer, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
in a second.
Bonnie, you're muted.
I second.
And then we just say all in favor?
No, we got to do a roll call vote.
Roll call. Okay.
Okay, so Jennifer Knisely,
Yes.
Bonnie London,
Yes.
Ponikvar,
Yes.
Patrick. I got the first name wrong.
Thank you, Carol.
Ashley Summers,
Yes.
Mark Geyer.
Yes.
Okay, that's it.
Okay. And now public comment on the consent agenda. Still no public, right?
Still no public.
Okay. So then we're going to, I guess we just adopted it. So then we go to committee matters. We turn it over to staff.
Oh, for a second, Jen, we do have to have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda, and we'll take a vote on that.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
In a second?
A second.
Oh, Ryan.
Oh,
Ryan,
Ryan's here.
Okay. Roll call.
Okay, Jennifer Knisely,
Yes.
Bonnie London,
Yes.
Patrick Ponifar,
Yes.
Ashley Summer,
Yes.
Mark Guyer,
Yes.
and Ryan DiMartini.
Yes.
Okay,
All right, now we'll hand it off to staff.
Thank you. So tonight we have for you a wonderful presentation by Matthew Gerken of AECOM. Your staff is here present to answer any questions we have or that you have that may come up. And I would just, hold your, we do the raise hand for talking. Matthew, it's your decision if you want interactive during your presentation or if you want them to refrain until the end. I'll leave that in your trusting hands. And take it away, Matthew.
All right, thank you very much, Mary Beth. Chair, members of this illustrious committee, and other staff members that are joining us tonight. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to have a short presentation that will guide your input this evening and through the general plan email address. I'm going to attempt to, okay. Oh, this is good. I was going to say, I'm going to attempt to share my screen. And I'm trying to figure out which of these three screens I want to share. I think this one. I am hoping now that you see a slide that is the title slide, May 4th, 2021 at the very bottom.
Nope.
We just see you.
Well, that's especially disappointing. Let me see.
Fourth is not with you, Matthew.
Let's try. No, that's definitely not the one. One. So still not. Okay. Is this the right one? Wait.
Yeah. There we
There
go.
you go.
Ha ha ha.
Ta-da.
Excellent. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. So we're going to talk about the first meeting that this body had, recap that, and then talk about considerations for the update of the economic development and finance element of the general plan, and then go through next steps. At the March meeting, we introduced this process, talked about what this general plan update will all be about. We reviewed the existing element, the existing land use element at that time that also addresses economic development. We especially talked about the existing contents of the element and the goals. We also summarized the existing economic development and finance setting, what's going on today, what are some important trends and observations about the setting, and then we assigned some homework. We then received input through the GPU email address, which I'll put on the slide at the end of this presentation. And we got a lot of very good input. I'm on a bunch of these committees, and I can say that we really did get some especially good and detailed input after the March session. For example, that there is the need for ongoing support from the town for locally owned business as conditions change. In other words, The general plan will be a snapshot, a concrete, in time indication of goals and policies, but there should be a living element to the general plan to monitor conditions as they change, and then to reach out and assist existing and future businesses as conditions do change. Comment that the Costco project will have a number of different positive effects for the town, including jobs, convenient shopping, and revenue. Comments from a couple of folks that some additional flexibility on parking requirements downtown could be very helpful. That the town needs a greater diversity of housing types and densities in order to support future economic development and jobs development. That there's support for the ongoing streetscape project, and that should be ushered into completion, and should underground that's possible. There's support for special events that the town has been promoting or organizing that go to the existing traditional agricultural theme of Loomis and bring in outside revenue. And that hosting youth sports tournaments could be very popular and also lead to both direct and multiplier sources of revenue. Support for the town's niche and the potential to serve a niche that has to do with local entrepreneurs and small businesses and types of businesses. Recognition that the town's actually recently done quite a good job at helping local entrepreneurs and small businesses and locally owned businesses. That significant progress has been made on all of the existing goals, and that looking forward, the town should prioritize the improvement of broadband internet and related technology in order to spur economic development looking forward. Now on to, just to give you an idea, remind you of the approach here. We are updating this general plan that has to do with a review of existing goals and policies, keeping those that are still relevant and great, making revisions if we need to, deleting goals and policies if they're not relevant anymore, and then adding new policies if they're necessary to address emerging technologies, emerging economic development opportunities, and other matters. We're also going to have a sort of bookkeeping organizational component to this general plan update that reorganizes the goals and policies and implementation measures with a consistent numbering system and adds objectives. What are objectives? What should goals, policies look like? Great question. This slide has kind of a general presentation. There's more detail online at the town's website at the URL presented at the top of this slide. But the technical staff will be writing goals, policies, implementation measures, and objectives. So it's not necessary that you as committee members are experts. Understanding generally what these things are, I think, is very helpful. Goals are just an expression of a future desired state. Objectives are an interim way of measuring progress toward that goal, usually measurable, if possible, and time specific. A policy should just be a concise statement of a position. It is the town's position that this, or should be a statement of a particular course of action. The town will do this. Finally, an implementation measure is an action, a procedure, a program, activities basically that are carried out in order to implement the policy. It's kind of like a to-do list for town staff. As I mentioned, we're reviewing the existing general plan, asking ourselves some of these questions. And as it relates to the economic development element, it has goals and policies and programs. I'm going to present some highlights here, and then we're going to talk about what some key considerations might be for making changes to this existing material. So first, with regard to economic development goals, you see them on your screen here. The town has goals to encourage and assist existing businesses to be economically viable looking forward, as well as recruiting new industries and businesses, to preserve and enrich the historic character of the downtown in order to spur economic development, and then finally to develop tourism as a way to spur additional economic development in the town. The existing economic development section of land use has the types of policies and strategies you see on your screen. You still hear me okay? Okay.
Yes.
8 policies talking about business retention and expansion. Another 8 talking about attraction and new formation of new businesses. 4 policies that focus on downtown. Another 4 on tourism, and then implementation and monitoring measures. 18 of them that are in these basic categories: collecting stats and data, marketing and promotion. Town's staff should focus and what processes and procedures ought to be used to promote economic development, ensuring that land use designations are right to attract future businesses, and then another category that has to do with financing, funding for infill-oriented economic development, and other matters. With respect to finance, as was mentioned, now finance will be brought on over from public facilities into a new economic development element. So I thought I'd highlight what the general plan has to say about public finance right now. There is this existing goal: be fiscally healthy, with new development making contributions to maintaining current levels of service for public services. There are a number of existing finance policies, which you see presented here. Again, focused on new development in terms of financing. New development shall be required to contribute to existing levels of service and facilities. The town should explicitly consider fiscal effects of new projects and make findings on that topic. Fiscal impact analysis should be required for projects that need a general plan amendment. And finally, another policy supporting the development of new commercial and industrial activities to bring in revenue, provided that those new developments are consistent with the town's distinct rural character. There is one existing implementation measure that's related to finance in the general plan, and it has to do just with studying and updating fees, which is a relatively routine matter. So that's the existing material, what the general plan has to say today. And now I want to shift to getting all your whistles wetted for looking at how we should change what's in the general plan today by offering some broad considerations, strategies, and existing questions you might want to ask yourself as you provide input on how we ought to change the general plan. One overarching consideration as we think about economic development policy in particular is what's the role in the broader economic